Hi, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. This is Rajiv S. Khanna from immigration.com. The law offices of Rajiv S. Khanna PC. We do this call every other Thursday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time at the phone number 202 800 8394, which you have dialed 202 800 8394. And as you dial in, you hear certain caveats that this call doesn't create an attorney-client relationship, etc. So all these calls are subject to those caveats. The way we will conduct this call is this. It's now 12:31 p.m. I'm going to lock the conference, and I'll explain to you in 1 second why I do that.
The conference is now locked.
I lock the conference because I have certain number of questions posted on our forums, forums.immigration.com. Okay. We have a particular section right on the very top in the forums devoted to conference calls. You can find old recordings there as well as post new questions if the forums are open. I will first answer the posted questions, and within that, I will answer questions that I consider to be frequently asked questions. Each time I answer a posted question, I will invite you, folks who are already here, if you have a follow-up question on that, please don't ask me any new questions at that time, just follow-ups. The reason we are doing that is so that the knowledge base is consolidated. All the related questions are in the same place. So first I do frequently asked questions, then other posted questions, and that usually takes me half an hour. And once that is done, I open the floor to all new questions. So whatever questions you have, ask me after about 30 minutes when I'm done doing these questions. I just request that please be brief and don't try to take too much of the time because there's a whole bunch of people waiting here, right? So we try to answer and at least guide as many people as we can. All right, with that said, let me get started. I'm going into, this call is being recorded, as you know. I hope it is being recorded. I can't tell. Give me 1 second. Oh, well, I do my best. I think it's being recorded. They have changed the interface on the software that I use, and somehow I can't really tell whether this is being recorded or not. Just give me 1 second now that I have paused recording. Oh, I don't know. Oh, well, Monica will figure it out. Okay. First frequently asked question that has been posted. Let's get there. This is a very interesting question, and it comes up quite frequently. I probably answer this question 2-3 times each week in consultations. Is it legal to take paid time off after the end date of EAD as payment for work done earlier? PTO, okay? So the idea is, I worked for this company for 1 year, and they owe me 25 days of paid time off. My EAD is over. Can I take paid time off? Basically, what you're asking me is, can I get paid for work, for money that I have already accumulated after my EAD is over? And the answer is yes. Why not? Because when you accumulated that money, right, you already had an EAD. This is not new work. You're not working anymore. You are getting paid for some benefit that you're already accumulated. A slightly different version of the same question is this. I'm working for employer X with my H-1B. Then my H-1B transfer got approved for employer Y. I have moved to employer Y, but employer X has just sent me my bonus check. Can I take it because I'm not working for X anymore? And the answer is yes, because the bonus check is for money you already earned while you were working for employer X. I hope this is making sense. So let me take a look at the exact question. My EAD is ending, moving to another company. They've asked me to apply for PTO after the EAD end date and before the start date so that I remain on the payroll. I would be in the US for a week or so after the EAD end date. Is it legal for me to take PTO after EAD end date? My company's immigration department is not answering, and they asked me to consult a lawyer. So once again, let me understand. I want to make sure I understand the question. EAD is ending. I'm moving to another country, but with the same employer. They've asked me to apply for PTO after the EAD end date and before the start date in another country so that I remain on the payroll. I personally don't see any problem with that. Now, there is another nuance here. The nuance is, can I stay in the US after my EAD expires? I don't know what your status is. So if you are here, please press *5 on your phone. I need some clarifications from you. If you are here, press *5. Okay, you're not here. Bottom line is, it's okay to take money after your EAD is over, but whether you can stay or not and how long you can stay depends upon your EAD. So for example, if it was OPT or STEM OPT, you are 60 days legal to stay anyway. Okay, so it depends upon the kind of EAD. Press *5 if anyone has any question related to this. Press *5 on your phone, please. All right, I'm moving on to the next frequently asked question if there is one. Oh, I guess there was only one frequently asked question. That's unusual. Okay, let's go back to the regular questions then, those that are not frequently asked. Maintaining employment while I-485 is pending. Layoff concerns. I have filed my I-485 in 2020 and it's currently pending. Because of backlog, okay, I did not receive my EAD. I did receive my EAD AP combo, which is good till 29. Now I'm getting laid off. How long can I stay unemployed? You can stay unemployed unlimited amount of time. Okay. Or you can even do an unrelated job. What if you started driving Uber just to keep yourself busy while you're looking for a job? I think that's perfectly legal. You have an EAD. Okay. But you would have to produce an offer of employment in a same or similar job, not employment, but offer of employment, if the government asks for you. Let me rephrase, asks for it. If they ask, okay, you have 87 days or 10 days or 30 days to produce a letter, you should be able to produce an offer of employment. Somebody says, we are willing to apply Mr. Ravi, or whatever your name is. That should be sufficient. Sometimes it's supplement J that they ask for, which is basically a formal offer of employment. So there is no requirement that when you are covered by AC-21, I-140 approved, 485 pending, 180 days, that you have a job in your own field or have a job at all. But ultimately, by the time you get to close to your approval of green card, you should have your own job. You should be working in your field in a same or similar job. Okay. So you said, given my priority date will not be current for next 18 to 24 months, how long can I stay unemployed? There's no limit. I'm planning to take a break of 6 months and start researching. Yeah, I think that should be okay. Early 2026 with an intent to get a job prior to my... Yeah, I think that should be okay. But remember that you have to have a backup plan in case they ask for, if they send you an RFE or a notice of intent to deny, which might give you 30 or 10 days to respond. Just keep that in mind. *5. If there's a follow-up question, press *5, please. Okay. Hi, sir. Has government stopped granting B2 visa for job search after H1B layoff? We are still getting approvals, but I want to remind you of something in 1 second I'll say. How likely is it to get first and second extension for job search in current scenario? Okay. So today I did a consultation for someone. He got a notice of intent to deny his B1, B2 because the government said looking for a job is illegal on B1, B2. Okay, that's crazy. I've never heard of that. Unfortunately, that gentleman was converting from B1, B2 to H1B. And they said, we're not going to give you an H1B change of status because you did something illegal. That's not true. Because the USCIS policy, until about a couple of weeks back, actually actively encouraged us to do that. So what is the future of this thing? I really don't know. Are we still filing B1, B2s? We are. Are we still filing extensions? We are. Will we get them? I don't know. But the point is, as long as a good faith extension is pending, I am not out of status. Once it is denied, if I leave very, very quickly, like within a week, 2 weeks, I should be okay. Because technically there's no grace period after a B1, B2 denial. However, even the government understands that it can take you a week, 2 weeks to get out of the US. Okay? I hope this makes sense. *5, if you have a follow-up question, press *5. And this is from area code. There are 3 people with the same question. Let's go to area code 412 first. 412, where are you calling from?
Hello, sir. Yeah, I'm calling from Dallas. Actually, my question was I am in the grace period and I'm looking to change to B1, B2. But recently, since the archival of the page and all these things going on, I was just wondering, should we still mention in the letter of intent that I'm looking for jobs? Because, yeah, I am looking for jobs. There are few interviews that are pending. Or to be on the safer side, seeing the current situation, should mention that I'm trying to wrap up things and try to like.
So, first of all, I detest not telling the truth. You can deny my case, but I will tell the truth. Okay. If it were up to me, I would say exactly what the truth is, that I'm in between jobs. I'm looking for a job. And I will never start working without authorization. And I'm never going to break the law. Will they accept my case, approve my case? I don't know. But I don't have a choice but to tell the truth. That's the way I see it. On the other hand, if you are genuinely disposing of your sofa and your TV and your car on your way out, that's perfectly reasonable. You can say that. Okay. Government is taking a very ritualistic position. It's more of a ritualistic position than functional or factual position. That they are saying in that notice of intent to deny that I saw, they were saying, well, it's not a permissible activity on B1 to look for a job. That's actually not true. If you do a search in news, just do a Google search in the news category. Times of India published a whole big article on, you can now look for a job on B1. And they made some references. Okay. So the point is, this is a government that is very odd. It doesn't make sense what they do. But everything here that we are thinking of doing is not illegal. At the most, they can deny and ask me to leave. Okay, then I'll leave. And I'll keep looking for a job from India and wherever my home country is. And when I get a job, I'll come with a new approval. Okay?
Got it. Just one follow-up thing. So they are usually denying it in the case if you mention that we are looking for a job.
This is the first time I've seen it. This is the first time I've seen it this morning. We have received bunch of approvals where we have specifically said, I'm looking for a job. But look, I have money in the bank. I don't have to violate any laws. And I will not start working until I get my approval. H1B approval.
Got it.
Okay.
Got it. Okay. And in case of denial, if this happens, is there a way to contest it or you just have to leave the tenant?
You can file a motion to reopen, but that's really useless and it could even be dangerous because you are unlawfully present. Okay.
So within a week, then just leave it.
A week to 2 weeks, I think, should be okay, and that's my guess. All right? Best of luck. You're welcome. Bye. Okay. 617, I think, is Boston, right? Area code 617, where are you calling from?
Hi, I'm calling from Boston. I had a follow-up question regarding the same thing, but my question is in terms of, I already have a P1, P2 visa from my past, which is set to expire in 2026 December, and I am going to be impacted by layoffs pretty soon. I know about...
Okay, let me stop you there for 1 second. Let me stop you there for 1 second. Having a visa stamp on your passport gives you no advantage. You still have to apply for change of status. Or you can step outside and come back on B1, B2. They won't let you in. Okay?
Got it.
So change of status is the only reasonable option. It does not help you to have a B1, B2. Okay?
Okay. Got it.
Best of luck. You're welcome. Let's see. Area code 857. Where are you calling from?
Hi, sir. I'm calling from New Jersey.
Okay.
I actually, it's a quick, I thought the call started at 12:30, but was it before that? Because
The way it works is the call starts at 12:30. But I tend to log in whenever I get a little time. I log in anywhere between 12 and 12:15. So today I logged in at about 12:06. Couple of people were already waiting. The rest of the people showed up. But then I have to lock the conference at 12:31 because otherwise there are too many people. I can't really handle all the questions. Go ahead.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much for taking time out for
Sure.
all of us. And I had a follow-up question regarding the letter of like financial capabilities for filing for B2, and I was wondering if I could, provide a letter from my uncle who stays here, saying that he'll take care of my expenses because um, all of the expenses so far have been pretty tight with the student loans, etc.
Yeah, you can attach that. The government can then say, well, we want you to give us Form I-134, which is affidavit of support. It's not as bad as the affidavit of support for green card, which is I-864. Different form. So they can ask for that, but can you start with just a letter from your uncle? Sure. I think so. Okay.
Okay. And a follow-up to the case you mentioned. So you said someone from B2 was trying to transition back to H1 and it was denied because they were saying it was illegal. But what exactly is it technically illegal? But like
No,
because
see,
according to the link, it says
so what happened was, under Biden administration, the policy was made much more reasonable. They said, look, if you lose your job, apply for a B1, B2 and keep looking for a job. Okay. Then Trump, about a week or 2 weeks ago, said, we archived this policy, but they gave us no new policy. So when you look at the old policy, there's really no clear mention what I can and cannot do. However, I have been applying for B1, B2s for laid off people for decades. Okay. 95% of the cases I got a B1, B2. And I said clearly, look,
okay.
I'm going to look for a job. I won't work. I won't start work until I get approval. Please convert me to B1, B2. And the only time, I think there were only 2 or 3 cases in 35 years where I was denied. Okay. Sometimes people were actually saying, look, I've got this layoff. It's like a boon to me because I can actually do some sightseeing. I've lived in the United States for 5 years and I want to do some tourism. Then I filed that case saying I want to do tourism, which is a perfectly legitimate reason for getting a B1, B2.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Just the last follow-up. If from B2 to H1, if it's denied, would that be like an RFE thing or would I have to leave the country?
No, they just deny it
It's like
and not a big deal. If they deny it, you just get an H1B visa stamp and come back.
Okay.
That's not the end of the world. Okay.
Okay. Sure. Thank you so much.
Best of luck. Last question in this series, area code 919. I think North Carolina, right?
Yes. Hi. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
First of all, thank you for taking my questions. I had a follow-up question for the situation of transitioning from B2 to H1B back. So my fiance received an approval for her B2 last week, and she also got an offer day before yesterday.
Good.
And we are waiting that the company would start her H1 application, probably 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay.
With these needs of, notice of intent to deny, we were looking for some suggestions as to what could be done if we receive the same.
So it's not the end of the world, na? Itna chinta kyo? Why worry about it so much? You can always step out and come back in. So what? I don't see it as a major impediment. Okay.
So then should we ask the employer to apply in consular processing?
So look. If I apply for consular, I have given up any chance I have of change of status. It's like surrendering in a battle without fighting the battle. If I fought, even if I had overwhelming odds, I still had some chance of winning. Why should I give up the battle?
Okay.
Okay. So apply for a change of status. That's what I would do. All right. Best of luck.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Yeah, sure.
Let's go on to the next question. So this was the B1, B2. We did the late paid time off. Unpaid wages and H1B filing. Should I stick with STEM OPT or risk change of status with a startup? Unpaid wages and H1. Okay. I'm on F1 OPT first year. STEM OPT approved. H1B got picked. Startup is filing the petition. They are small, financial difficulties, haven't paid my last two paychecks. Should I stay on STEM OPT or proceed with? Would consular processing be safer than change of status? Well, okay. So here is the analysis you have to do. If you are here, press star 5. I would rather talk to you live. Are you here? Press star 5. Oh, good. Excellent. So area code 603, where are you calling from?
Namaste, Rajiv ji. Area code is of New Hampshire, but I'm calling from Houston, Texas.
Bada ghumte ho sab. Okay, so namaste, and here is the cost benefit analysis you have to do. Winning the lottery of H1B is really a big deal, and it opens up many avenues for you. One hand. On the second hand, what is the point of getting an H1B if I'm not going to be able to work here? Okay. So there is a risk that if the employer is not able to pay you, there'll be no kickoff of the H1B. In other words, you've not really started the H1B. However, I would argue, where is the law that says that I have to kick off the H1B in order to be outside the lottery? So this is a complicated situation with difficult decisions. If I stay on STEM OPT, I'm giving up my H1B altogether. That's not a very attractive option. So my judgment ultimately, whether I should do an H1B or not, would be based upon how quickly I can find a job. If I think that I can find a job fairly quickly, I would do my H1B transfer. I would do my H1B, and then I would do my H1B transfer. I can try even before October 1st. So far, we've been getting them. But tell my current employer who's doing the H1B, please don't revoke my H1B until well past October 1st. On the other hand, everything is uncertain. I don't really know what's going on. I would stay with OPT, STEM OPT. Because then you still have a couple of years. And also the option of CPT if necessary to continue working. Does this make sense or no?
Okay. That definitely makes sense.
Okay.
And based on the insights that you gave, I think filing for H1B would be a wiser option. Just a quick follow-up. So currently I'm on my OPT. If I'm not getting paid, I'm not voiding any...
No problem. Yeah. First year of OPT... Hold on. Let me clarify one thing. First year of OPT does not require payment. Okay. But USCIS has a stated policy. If the employer violates any labor laws, which includes Fair Labor Standards Act, which does not allow a for-profit employer to have unpaid workers working for them, unless there are some very strict conditions under which they can do it. So you can actually Google it. FLSA, Fair Labor Standards Act, internship requirements. You'll see the requirements. So the government has said, if the employer is violating any labor laws, then we consider that to be a violation of the status of the F1 holder also. Okay. But that's such a tertiary interpretation, I'm not really worried about it, frankly. I can guarantee you that probably not 20 people in thousands of USCIS adjudicators really know that law or that policy. Okay?
Quick follow-up to that. As an F1 holder, are there any steps I should take from my end to safeguard my visa status?
Sure. if you can get, for example, unpaid internship with your professor or your school or a non-profit organization along with your current job, then your OPT is being protected because you have at least 20 hours work with an internship. Okay. And those internships, non-profits and college professors, etc., are not likely to be any violation of FLSA. Okay. Best of luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, guys, these are complicated times. Okay, area code 201 is probably New Jersey. I like to guess these area codes. 201, are you New Jersey?
Yeah, the number is New Jersey. I'm in Virginia.
All right. Okay. How can I help you, sir?
So my question is not regarding that. I just wanted to understand, like, where are the questions being asked? Because I wanted to ask some questions.
Okay. So, I've been doing it for 30 years. It's the same process we've been doing. We have a forum. If you go to immigration.com, on the top left, you'll see a link to forums, or you can just type forums, plural, forums.immigration.com. And the very top, you see community conference calls forum. Okay. People post questions there, but people who have not been able to post questions, I tell them just come 15 minutes early, so that when I lock the conference at 12:31, most of you are here already. And I try to answer questions of everyone who's already here. That's how it works. Okay. And tell me, why have we not made it more publicly, this whole process available? I think I'm lazy, and most of the people come here by word of mouth. So I have so much going on. Sometimes it's just not possible for me to attend to all details of my life. Okay. Make sense? No.
Is there a way I can ask the question at the end of the call?
Yeah, of course. I will, once I'm done answering all the posted questions, I'll open the floor to all questions. All right. That's the whole idea. That's why I lock the conference, so that people who are here, I can attend to their questions. Okay.
Got it. Thank you.
You are very welcome. Okay, so we did with that one. That's next question, which is number 6, I think. Yeah. H-1B transfer portability. Can I switch employers before my October 1st H-1B effective date? I think so. We've been doing it. It's highly uncertain, but please tell your employer not to revoke your H-1B before October 1st. On or after October 1st should be okay. This is also in our frequently asked questions on our website, immigration.com. Okay. Can you do it before the petition is filed? No. The first petition has to be filed by the employer who entered you into lottery. Once that is approved, then you can try transferring it, unless Stephen Miller comes for even that. So right now we are getting approvals, transfers. Okay. But the first petition has to be approved through and from the employer who applied you or put you through the lottery. *5. If you have a follow-up question, press *5, please. Okay. Next question. STEM OPT with part-time and full-time jobs. Will it affect H-1B approval or consular processing? I got my H-1B picked this year. I'm in STEM OPT. My initial OPT, I have 2 employments. One is part-time as a faculty. Second is full-time data engineer. Will it affect my H-1B approval? Oh, no problem at all. Can I continue my dual employment? As long as they are both related to your field of study, I don't see any problem. You can certainly continue doing that. No issue at all. *5. If you have a follow-up question, press *5. Okay, next question. H-1B stamping in Canada with L-1B status and Canadian PR, appointment correction and risks. Oh, somebody just raised their hand. Guys, you got to move faster than that. Area code 618. Where are you calling from?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I was not fast enough. So I just wanted to follow up on that one. Can that also apply for when you get the H-1B? You have dual
multiple employment. So yes. So the way it works is, you can Google concurrent H1B or concurrent H1B employment. Under the law, you can have multiple H1Bs at the same time, but every employer has to file for a concurrent H1B for you. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, certainly possible. All right. Next, we go on to back to so STEM OPT with part-time and full-time jobs. Will there be a problem with H1B? No problem. Okay. Next question, H1B stamping in Canada with L1B and Canadian permanent residence. On L1B in US, Canadian permanent residence holder, Indian citizen, H1B picked. Can I get my H1B stamped from Canada before 1st October, considering that I have a PR card? Absolutely. Yes, you can. This is not a third country. You live in this country. So even if you are like a student in Canada or in UK, you can apply for all immigration related issues for US from that country because you're really a resident of that country. It's not a third country national situation. You are allowed. Additionally, when scheduling an appointment, I mentioned that I'm a resident of Canada because I mistakenly interpreted it as a PR holder. On revisiting the question, I realized it's physical residency. But are you in L1B? Oh, I see. Should I redo the appointment? I did already pay the fees. Or can I correct that? So if you look at the frequently asked questions on DS 160 correction, it tells you the methodology. Okay. So just do a search for DS 160 correction site:/.gov. Okay. You should be able to find the frequently asked questions. *5 if you have a follow-up question, *5. Okay. Question number 9. I think there are about 11 questions posted. Usually I tell them to stop at 11. Well, today it's 12. Okay. So we are on question number 9. Then we'll open after 12 we'll open. We did this one. This is number 9. I'm on H1B, employed by a US firm. I have a few queries about concurrently starting a company in India to serve India and South Asian clients on a part-time basis. There'll be a separate full-time team operating in India. So before you even start that, remember, if you work on the US soil, on any operation that has any remote connection with the US, even though the operation is in India, you'll be violating the law, in my opinion. Okay. So your question was the trade-off between being a passive investor and owning shares versus actively managing. Even if there's no remuneration, I think that would be a violation. Separately, is it possible to follow a middle path between passive and active? I can be an advisor to the operating team and provide advice. I would say, yeah, I think that's also problematic. Are there any legal reporting requirements to authorities to not violate? Under immigration laws, no. But under tax laws, you'll have to check with the CPA. That's not my field. Okay. *5 if you have a follow-up question. Bottom line is anything over passive investment, whether it's directed inside USA or outside USA, I think it could be a problem. *5, folks? No? Okay. Let's go on to the next question, number 10. H1B, H4 family and birthright citizenship, executive order, SCOTUS ruling, maternity leave, and blue state birth. Is there a Supreme Court ruling later this month that lifts the current nationwide injunction on birthright citizenship? Well, it might come. What was argued before the Supreme Court was, are nationwide injunctions legal? Not specifically birthright. Okay. Giving birth in a blue state, from an H1B perspective, can't she spend 3 to 4 months in paid maternity leave outside of Texas? Sure. That's not a status violation. So hold on. Is your wife on H1B or you are on H1B? My wife is on H1B. Okay. So if she wants to be outside that state, wherever she goes, she has to be LCA approved for that state. So if it is more than 50 miles from where you are located with the current LCA, her employer would have to file an H1B amendment. If a baby is born in a blue state and we were to pursue litigation individually, would we have standing in that state's district court? No idea. You'll have to talk to a litigator in that state. The rules of a standing can be quite complicated. There's all kinds of rules and sub-rules. I don't want to comment on it. I would say that domicile means you are physically present in the states, and in most states, domicile gives you standing. But I don't want to give you false impression that I know what I'm talking about. Would it be better to stay in Texas, give birth here, and join a group lawsuit that's filed in a friendly district court? I don't think I can comment on that. I don't know what the future is going to look like. I would just stick to my holding pattern. I would see how the Supreme Court ruling goes. And if it goes against you, we'll have a better idea. But if you're getting, if the baby is coming, rather relatively early, taking a shot at moving to another state would be an option. Is it a good option? I don't know. But it certainly could be better than staying in a red state. That would be my guess. *5 if you have a follow-up question. But I would want you to physically move, not just create a temporary situation. Okay, no question. Let's go to question number 11. Oh, that's such a cute baby. Moving states with H-1B, Seattle-based, when to file amendment, can I reuse stamping appointment? My current H-1B is Seattle. If I move to a different state, they'll have to do an H-1B amendment, yes. But since I already filed the DS-160, took a visa stamp appointment, do I have to wait? All these questions about these tertiary issues about changing your DS-160, I would just look at the frequently asked questions. I know that there are multiple ways of reopening the DS-160 that you already finalized, including requesting the consulate to reopen it for you. And if nothing else, if you're going for an interview, you can take both the corrected DS-160 and the one that you filed with you and request the government accept the corrected one. That was the procedure the last time I checked a few weeks back. *5. If you have a follow-up question, press *5. Okay. Last question, posted question from Anubhuti Chaube. Chaubeji writes, H1B to B1B2 layoff. Can I extend B2 based on job search? We just discussed that today. Thank you for the informative session. Currently on B1B2. My B1B2 is valid for a few more weeks. If I don't receive an offer before B1B2 expires, can I file for another extension? I would do it, Chaubeji. I would do it. I don't know what the end of this is going to be, but so unless I hear something different, and I'll post it on my LinkedIn stream, unless I hear something different, I would continue doing these filings, including extensions. *5. If you have a follow-up question, press *5, please. Okay, there was a follow-up question here from Anubhuti ji. Let's see if she's already on the call. Area code 480, are you Arizona?
Yeah, I'm calling from San Francisco. This number is from Arizona. So my question was,
are you Miss Chaube, Anubhuti ji?
I'm good.
Is this Anubhuti Chaube? Are you the poster of this question?
Yes.
Acha. So please continue, Chaube ji.
Yeah, so my question was, would denial of second B2 extension, if gets denied, because I've heard there's high chances of denial for the second extension. So will that impact my chances of returning on H1B later?
Only time you could have a lasting impact on your H1B is if there was any misstatement in your paperwork. If you stick to the true and the narrow Satyamev Jayate, you can, I don't see any reason they can get at you. Maximum they can say, no, you are denied. You'll leave within a week, 2 weeks, you'll be fine. Okay?
Okay, so because it's going to expire in like 15, 16 days. So I was thinking of filing for the second extension. So you said it's safe to do that. So should I write everything truthfully that, hey, I'm looking for jobs and these are the emails and carrying the invitations of the interviews I have scheduled for the next few weeks?
Date of, since I have become a sentient human being, I have stuck with Satyamev Jayate. 2 reasons. It's good policy for your peace of mind, and 2, I'm too stupid to remember lies. I cannot remember what I said, so I'm very poor in lying. Okay. I prefer to tell the truth because remember, from a legal perspective, if I get caught in a lie, that's a permanent bar from entering the United States. I can never come back.
That's okay. Mm-hmm.
So it's not that difficult.
So you're saying it's safe to apply for the second extension?
I would tell the truth. I'm close to getting a job. I've applied twice, So, but I would be quite detailed about what happened. Now, the government could again do the same nonsense that I saw this morning. And the reason they get away with some of this nonsense is because the lawyers don't want to fight it. And I said, that's what lawyers get paid for. We get paid to fight.
Yeah.
Why are they not fighting? It's illegal for the government to change. Look, think about it this way. Changing policy midstream is like this. You drive from your home to work at 55 miles an hour every day. One day, the government says, we are changing policy, but they don't tell you what the speed limit is going to be. You keep driving 55 miles. 10 days later, they say, oh, you were driving 55. We've changed the speed to 35 now, so we are going to ticket you. Well, wait a minute. You didn't tell me that you had changed to something different. That's what Trump administration has done. Yeah. They say we are changing, but they're not telling us what are they changing to. Okay. So I'm driving the speed limit that Biden set. And Trump says, no, that's not acceptable. And then what is acceptable? So therefore, when I have a situation, like this, I fight it and I tell them, I'll see you in court. You want to mess with us? We'll see you in court. Let's see what a judge has to say about it. Because under the Administrative Procedures Act, if you change a written policy, you have to give people notice. And you have to tell them there has to be a reasonable policy. There has to be reasonable notice period to people. We don't even know what's going on here. No, but it is what it is. So I would do the second extension. I'll take my chances.
Okay, and in case if that denies, I should get back to my home country immediately.
Yeah. Then, Chaubeji, I think it's time for you to hang out in India and enjoy your Golgappas.
Thank you so much. So I just have one last follow-up for my friend. So my friend is on second extension of B1, B2. And he got offer from Microsoft yesterday, like a company. But his B1, B2 second extension is going to expire in just 3 days. So he said, should I file for third extension? Because he already has an offer letter. Or he should go back to India.
He will need to coordinate with his Microsoft lawyers. If they think they are going to be able to file his case, because sometimes they already have LCAs. Okay. Many of these larger companies have multiple LCAs for multiple locations, and they can reuse the LCAs. Okay. They already have an LCA and they can get his paperwork filed within the time he has. No problem. Don't need to do a B1, B2 extension. Second option, go to India, get a visa stamp, come back. Third option, apply for B1, B2, hope for the best. He might still end up going to India. But this is a decision that the lawyers and he have to make together. These are the 3 options.
He's already talking to them and he doesn't think that they can cooperate it within next 3 days.
So then 2 choices, either leave or do a B1, B2 extension. But it should be discussed. It should be done in conjunction with the advice of lawyers. Every lawyer wants to handle things differently. And I don't want to tell somebody to do something which their lawyers don't want to do. Okay?
Okay.
All the best, Chaubeji.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
You're
helping so many of us. Thank you.
I don't do it to help anyone. I do it because I enjoy it. So please don't thank me unnecessarily. I love hanging out with people and talking to them. 2 minutes, I can solve a lot of problems. All the best.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone has any question, press *5. Anyone has any question, press *5. 6, 7 questions. 7 questions are easy. We can do them. All right. I think I have my first one in my queue is Ontario. Ontario, area code 437. Go ahead, please.
Yes, I contact your number, but I based out of Orlando, Florida.
अच्छा जी.
I'm a Canadian actually, working on TN visa. So I moved last year, and my company applied H1B,
Okay.
but it didn't click actually. So now they're thinking to apply a direct green card in the next couple of.
One second, sir. One second. One clarification. So, are you now on TN or H1B?
I'm on TN.
See, applying for a green card while on TN can be problematic because TN is not a dual intent visa, which means if you file a green card, it can impact your extensions and travel on TN. Okay. However, by the way, are you born in India or some other country?
No, I born in Pakistan actually, so I'm.
So that is helpful. So that was a smart move, because then getting a green card realistically within your TN time frame is probably going to happen. Okay, so please talk with your lawyers. Make sure they remember that you are on TN, which is not a dual intent visa. Because you are born in Pakistan, TN to green card is a good option. There might be a period there where you can't travel after filing the I-140, but that's not a very long period. ठीक है? All set?
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
एक follow-up question है sir कि my wife अभी she's on TD visa and she's thinking to apply this E2 visa, the investor visa.
I love E2 visas. They are the bomb, absolutely, because she gets E2, you get automatic work authorization.
That's correct. Yes. So she already is in a plan to apply, so we just holding because of this green card process. So
E2 is dual intent. So I like E2. From E2 to green card is a good option. So one. What you do is let her do E2. You become E2 derivative, okay, and you got your work authorization automatically, and now your green card can proceed without any problem. So start your green card while you are still on TD or TN. She gets her E2 and you transition to E2. By the time it's time for you to file I-140, you're already safe because you're on E2. Yeah, that's what I would do. You are very welcome. Okay, area code 585. 585, go ahead, please. Where are you calling from?
Hi, Rajiv, sir. The area code is NYC, but I'm calling from Chicago.
यार मेरे को सर मत बुलाओ, कोई सर नहीं बुलाता. Rajiv is fine. Okay. So, tell me, what's up?
So, my situation is, I got laid off and I'm currently in my 60 days grace period. And I had applied for a change of status to F1 to join a university.
Okay.
And at the same time, I got an RFE from USCIS because of the lapse program start date, because it was in 2nd June. And right now, I've also found an employer who says he's willing to do an H1B transfer.
Okay.
So what should I tell them in this situation so that the H1B transfer can go ahead and the change of status gets withdrawn?
You'll probably have to go outside USA for visa stamping. Do you have a visa stamp on your passport right now?
I don't have an H1B visa stamp right now.
So you probably will end up going because you'll be in between statuses. F1 still pending. By the time your H1B approval comes, you'll still be on F1 pending. However, you can always do B1, B2 premium processing, right? So by the time the H1B is decided, your F1 is already approved, then F1 to H1 is very easy to do. Talk about...
Is it not possible?
Ji.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
So my F1 is not approved yet. So can I just withdraw it and do the H1B transfer?
Yeah, but are you still in 60-day grace period?
Yeah, I'm still in 60 days.
Acha.
Still like 25th June.
Okay. It is highly likely that they can get your H1B filed within the next 2 weeks. And if they do that, if government receives your H1B filing within that 60-day grace period, there is no need for the F1 and you can actually start working. You don't have to wait for the
Yes, that
approval.
was my question.
So that's what you
Yeah,
should
yeah.
do. What you should do is,
So they can file the transfer.
revoke. Just make sure that your lawyers can file your H1B within the time that we have, and withdraw the F1. You don't no longer need it. Get the H1B filed. Make sure it gets there within the 60-day grace period, and you should be fine. Okay.
Okay. And how soon can I start working? After the application is received or
So
only after?
there is a conflict of opinions amongst various lawyers. The regulations, if I remember correctly, use the word receipt as soon as there's a receipt. Now, receipt could mean physically receiving the paperwork. If somebody were to be aggressive, they could say, well, USCIS has received my paperwork, now I can start working. But the better interpretation is receipt as in physical receipt of the fees. And for that, I recommend doing H1B premium processing because you get the receipt by email. And with that receipt, you can start working.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I think that makes sense.
All right.
And what are the names of the form for withdrawal? I think I-129 is the...
I don't know if there's a form for it. It's just a notarized letter that we send.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'll try to talk to the lawyer. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Best of luck. Area code 201 is what? New Jersey, right? I think so. New Jersey, hello. 201. Yep.
Hello. Hi, sir. So my question is, so I'll just give you context.
Okay.
So I'm on my 7th year of H1B.
Okay.
And on my 365 days of firm pending, I got 3 years of H1B.
Excellent.
Now,
but hold on. How did you, hold on, clarify something for me. Your I-140 is not yet approved.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you get 3 years by mistake or did you have 2 years left over from past?
No. So I was on my 6th year and they filed for an extension based on Form 365 and I got 3 years. So I don't know if that's... You
should have only gotten 1 year extra plus whatever time remains on your H1B. So if they have given you 3 years by mistake, don't use them. Use only 1 year.
Okay. So I 1 year. Okay.
Yep.
Next is my I-140 date is filed on May 20th.
Okay.
And I got the receipt.
Okay.
So my current H1 is till next year, April 1st, 2026.
Okay.
So if my I-140 is not approved by then, do I have to leave the country?
No, you should be able to get one more extension based upon the perm. See, what happens is, and this is the way I read the law from what I remember. So, if your perm is secured by filing I-140 within 180 days, because if you don't file I-140 within 180 days of perm approval, your perm expires. So, you secured the perm by filing the I-140. So, if the I-140 is not approved, I should still be entitled to 1 year based upon the perm.
Okay, so I keep getting the 1 year extension until the I-140 is approved.
That's correct. And you can also premium the I-140.
So the employer is not ready to file it in premium processing. So I want to know also what is the timeline for I-140?
8, 9 months, 10 months? I don't really know. You have to look it up. Something like 8, 9 months.
Okay, got it.
All right. Best of luck. All right. Take care, sir. Bye. Okay. Which one was... okay, this is area code 415. I should know. Pittsburgh, right? 415. Where are you calling from?
Hi, Rajiv. This is Nishant. I'm calling from Fremont.
Fremont, California. Boy, I was off. Okay. Tell me, how can I help you, sir?
I have 2 quick questions. So, shall I go together or one by one?
One by one, because I'll answer one. Yeah.
Got it. So, right now I'm on my H1B and I'm employed full time, and I have listed myself as a CEO and president of a startup that I want to pursue in the future, but I do not have any active work or any salary that I'm drawing from that. And I'm also filing my EB1A. So is this allowed? If not, can I assign the title to another co-founder without affecting my EB1A case?
See, not getting paid is not an option on H1B. That's a violation of status.
So I'm getting paid from my employer right now.
So you have an employer, and on the side you have your own company, correct?
That's correct.
You should only be a passive investor, not an active participant, unless you process an H-1B from your own company concurrently, part-time or full-time.
Got it.
Okay?
Which means I should not list myself as a president and CEO.
You should, it's not just a matter of listing. You should not act in any way, in any capacity for the company until you are properly authorized.
Correct.
All right?
Got it. So I did file the corporation last week, and they just emailed me that my address needs the verification. So shall I tell them to stop the incorporation right now?
No, you can see.
Anything.
Incorporation is not a problem. I think that's acceptable according to me. It's the activities that come after the incorporation that I worry about.
Got it. Like the investor and all of that.
Yep. Making pitches and helping run the business. That will be a problem. Okay?
Got it. Okay, perfect, sir. Moving on to my next question. So I want to switch from H1 to O1 visa because of the startup thing. But my wife is on H4 right now, not on H4 EAD. And if I want her to work, what are the future options for her?
That's not an easy question to answer. Well, in some ways it's easy, in some ways it's not easy. Unless she individually qualifies for something, I don't know how you can help her. So there isn't much. I can tell you the work authorization is CPT is an option which is open to everyone. She wants to go back to school and study. That would be pretty much the only option she has. Take it.
Got it, sir. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Move on to the next one.
Yep. Best of luck. Area code 603. I should know 603. Hi, where are you calling from, 603?
Yes, it's just a quick follow from question number 5.
But where is area code 603 from, Baba?
New Hampshire, but I am in Houston, Texas.
आप लोग इतना घूमते हो, I cannot keep track of this. Okay, so how can I help you? You are like those Khanna, but those gypsy types, huh? Tell me, how can I help you?
Okay. Yeah, so I'm on my OPD, missing the pay stubs. From next month, my STEM OPD starts. My H1B is company is filing the petition, just revising the case. So from when my STEM OPD starts and it's the payment instability continues, I have to immediately stop working. Do I have to immediately stop working for the employer?
Okay, so your question is about OPT or STEM OPT?
STEM OPT.
So in STEM OPT, you should
Which will begin next month.
You should receive compensation based upon what other people are getting. Okay. So the question is, if I stop getting paid, do I have to stop working? That's the question.
Yeah.
Okay, and the answer is yes. You should update your DSO that I've stopped working because I have stopped getting paid. Because not getting paid, now you can have alternate compensation. For example, if it's a startup and they are giving equity to everyone and paying 10% in wages and they're doing the same with you, that should be okay. Okay. But if it's a straight out salary for the rest and no salary for you, you need to quit because that's a violation of the labor laws. Okay.
Okay, got it. And just a quick follow-up from here. So my H1B also got paid and they are filing, which is kind of a future employment from October. Just in case, even if I stop working from them, say next month onwards, but on a talking terms, they can still retake me back for the H1B starting from October if the company.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That is fine. And especially if you have that 60 plus 90 days or 90 plus 60 days period left, some part of it is left until you come to the H1B stage. You're okay to sit at home and do nothing and rejoin the company once the H1B is activated on October 1st.
Got it. So in this scenario, what's recommended? The change of status for H1B or consular processing?
Change of status.
Got it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Very confused and thanks for providing the clarity.
No issue. Best of luck. Area code 610, where are you calling from? Six.
Hi, Rajiv. I am calling from Reading, Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah,
Can you hear me?
I know Reading. Yep. Go ahead.
Hi, my question is, surrounding remote work. So I am on H1B right now. My office is located in Reading, but I'm with a hybrid working model. If I get permission, my wife lives up in Canada, and I travel almost every weekend or every other weekend to Canada. If I get an option of working remotely in Canada, can I pursue that?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Google the words intermittent H1B. Okay. What does the intermittent H1B regulation says? It says there are certain circumstances where people are coming to the US and using their H1B intermittently, and that's legal. Okay. While you are in Canada, that time is taken out of your H1B time period, so you're not wasting any time. But when you are in the US, you have to work strictly according to the H1B terms. That's called an intermittent H1B. If you don't work at all in USA and you work totally in Canada, that's okay too.
Okay, that's okay too. Okay, that is new for me, nice.
Absolutely.
And for tax purposes, I would need to just talk with a CP or something.
Oh, my sub tax though. Yeah, I barely passed my tax exam. No, don't even. By the way, I have written on this. If you Google my name, Rajiv S. Khanna, in Economic Times, I wrote about this 3-4 years back when I saw this really weird opinion from the government. Not exactly in the H1B context, it was in the context of an E3, which is the Australian equivalent to an H1B. But the idea was the same. It was some broadcasting company. So you can read up on that opinion. I've written about how you can work from outside the US, and I don't think you should have any problem. Okay?
I would look that up. So to summarize, that's absolutely fine.
Yep.
As long as my employer agrees.
Yep. Absolutely.
And let's say if I do this for a year and I decide to come back and then work, come back and then
I think that's
fine, right?
That's perfectly okay. All right.
And this does not affect future iPhone 40s or anything.
It does not.
Within my record.
It does not. Just never lie about anything you are doing. Be always truthful. No problem.
Sure.
All right.
Okay, sweet. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Great advice. Thanks, Rajiv.
Best of luck. Area code 617, I am pretty sure this is Boston. Go ahead, 617.
Hi, Rajiv. It's a follow-up to a previous question number 9 in today's call.
Hanji.
You mentioned that as H1B visa holder, you cannot start a company in India or anything beyond passive investment is not allowed, right?
Well, hold on. Hold on. That's too wide a statement. Because under the January 16th change in regulations, you can actually have an H1B process through your own company that you own 100% or majority or minority. So that's what you said is a little bit too broad. That's not exactly the way it is. But if you don't have that situation where you have an H1B for your own company, which is legal and can be done, then if you try to start a company, whether in India or in USA, and manage it on the side, that's illegal.
Okay. So, and can that be done concurrently with a H1B for while working in a company like US company?
Yeah, you can do, but just make sure that you're not violating any labor laws, because many states have something called duty of loyalty, where you can work for only one employer. Well, not exactly that way, but basically you have to be loyal to the employer. You can have written contracts or handbooks that say you can only work for one employer at a time. And if the employer objects, you could have a problem. So as long as the labor law issues are sorted out, having a concurrent H1B for your own company is perfectly okay. All right?
Okay. And this company, like own company, even if it is not incorporated in US, but it is incorporated, say, in India.
Now, H1B can only be done for a US employer. It cannot be done for an employer in India.
Okay.
All right.
So the company has to be incorporated in US, like own company incorporated in US, H1B, concurrent H1B through that company, and then its operation can be anywhere.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Best of luck, sir. All right. Area code, we have only two more questions after this one. Area code 612, go ahead, please. Area code 612, where are you calling from?
Yes, so I'm actually calling from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, but the area code is of St. Paul, Minnesota.
Aha. Okay. Tell me, how can I help?
So my question is pretty unique. So my name is very long, especially my last name. My passport has my full name printed. My I-797 has my full name printed, but my H-1B visa stamp, it does not have my full name printed. They've removed one of my last names while printing it during November. I did send an email to US consulate stating that this has happened, and they sent me an email stating that they have an internal update in system and I should not worry about my travel. And I traveled back in December without any issues except for multiple checks, which I want to avoid because I travel pretty frequently.
Okay, hold on. Hold on. So, whenever you have recurring problems when you're traveling, and the issue is relatively straightforward, a very easy fix exists. What is that fix?
Okay.
That fix is called TRIP, T-R-I-P. Okay. Travel Redress Inquiry Program. What it is if you Google CBP TRIP, you'll come to a page where you can lodge a formal TRIP complaint. The TRIP complaint tells the CBP, dudes, I keep having the same stupid problem and it's because of this reason. When you file that complaint, the CBP will give you a TRIP number. Okay, that TRIP number, anytime you get stopped, you just give them the TRIP number. The CBP officer can look up your case online.
Okay.
And they should not put you through secondary inspection, hopeful.
Okay.
All right. Anything else?
Yeah, this is helpful. Another follow-up to this is, if by any chance, when I have to update my passport, because my passport has to get renewed next year, is there a possibility that I can change my name with my H1B and with all of these? My perm is also in process right now.
Yeah, name change can be done, and it can be done at different stages with different consequences. Personally, I like name change done through local court system.
Okay.
Why? Because you have a court ruling clearly saying what your name is, and you can take that to various agencies. Just check with the Indian consulate, would they accept a name change through the local US courts? But you can change your driver's license, you can change you won't change your H1B, but next time when you file, you can use that decree, court decree. You can change your anything official, including your driver's license. Having a court decree is very convenient.
Okay.
All right.
And it's the state of Wisconsin court, considering I'm living in Wisconsin. Right?
Yeah, you'll go to Wisconsin, and most of these procedures are set up so that individuals can do it themselves without a lawyer. So what you do is, you call the lowest court, district court, whatever that court is called, and talk with the clerk of the court's office and say, I want to do a name change. Actually, you can do it, Google it online, call the right people, follow their procedures, and just do a name change.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, this is helpful. Thank you for that advice.
You're welcome. Best of luck. Let's go to area code 412. 412, where are you calling from?
Hello, sir. I'm calling from Dallas, but the area code is Pennsylvania. This is a follow-up question to the transition from H1 to B1 B2. While writing the letter of intent, since I'm talking to a couple of companies, is there any document that I should be giving so that it creates more certainty about, like, I'm actually in the process of looking for a job, although to maintain my status I'll be on B1 B2. And my second thing is that you usually advise to show strong ties to the country, my home country. Is there any particular document that I need to show strong ties to my home country that if nothing works out and finds out, I will be returning back and not violating any rules?
So having letters of interest from the companies is unusual. It's not the usual documentation because no company is going to tell us we are interested in hiring you. Okay. They either are or they are not hiring you. So I think it's a little bit odd and it's an overkill. I don't think you need it. But if you've been interviewing already, you can list the companies and the dates and times you interviewed with them and what happened. Specificity is always good. What was your second question?
That you need to show ties to your home country.
So ties
to show that
ties to home country is such a fiction, okay? Because it's a nonsense fiction. Usually it should not be an issue. I never include it when I send it to the when I send a B1, B2. I don't include ties to my home country. But if they ask in RFE, and they sometimes do, we answer it.
Got it. And my question was like, I am actually interviewing, so should I attach like screenshots?
Yeah, I do it. Oh, absolutely. I would do it, but you could end up getting a denial anyway saying this is illegal, you can't be interviewing. But so be it. I am going to continue doing what I'm doing until I see a different policy.
Got it. So okay. I'm still following your rule that I will be saying that I am I will be looking for a job, but I'll not start until I get it converted from B1 to H1. And one last thing, sir, is there any particular amount in our account that we need to show?
Enough for you to survive for a few months, maybe 6 months, the time that you're asking. So think about your budget. How much time do you spend? Whiskey pe kitna spend karte ho? Pizza pe kitna spend karte ho? Idli pe kitna spend karte ho? All these things. Sometimes honest to God, I've given budgets all the way. My grocery is this much. My car rental is this much, or my car payment is this much. It doesn't happen very frequently, but maybe, I don't know, depends upon where you live. So reasonable amount for 6 months or so.
Got it. So just to reiterate, you mentioned that tell the truth that you're looking for a job and I will not violate any visa terms until I get converted to from B1 to H1. And the third would be that attach screenshots or whatever email exchanges if possible, that, or maybe just mention the specific detail that I'm in talks. And the thing is that even if the offer materializes, it will be outside of my grace period. That's why I'll have to
that's
apply.
okay. Yeah,
I won't.
Exactly. So I think that's kind of understood. But if you go to my blog on immigration.com, I think 15th or 20th entry is about how to apply for B1, B2. It tells you all the details you should put down in your paperwork.
Got it. Okay. No, it's just that the recent political changes have been like so much uncertainty. That's why.
Well, it is what it is. And, I don't see you as violating any laws. You are asking for a legitimate benefit which existed until 5 days ago, and Trump woke up on the wrong side of the bed. There's nothing we can do about it. So.
True. Got it. And just one thing, sir, is it that people are getting less than 6 months of extension?
No, that I have never heard. They are getting 6 months when they ask for it.
Okay, sir. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome, Ji. Best of luck. I think this is North Carolina, area code 919. Go ahead, please.
Hi. This is a follow-up question to the discussion of change from B2 to H1. My question is, if we receive a notice of intent to deny from USCIS for the B2 to H1 change, my understanding, the option that we have is to go out of the country and come back with a stamped H1B.
That's always an option. Fighting them is also an option.
Okay. But let's say if we already have a valid H1 stamp from the previous H1 visa, do we still need to get a new stamp for the new employer? Or
this is an extremely complicated question to answer. To understand why it is so complicated, Google INA, which stands for Immigration and Nationality Act. INA Section 222, G as in girl. When you read that, you'll understand why I'm saying it's a complicated question. Depends upon the facts of the case. So you may or may not be able to use the same stamp. Okay? Your lawyers will guide you through that. Best of luck.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, folks. Last question of the day, area code 857. Go ahead, please. Where are you calling from?
Hi, sir. I'm calling from New Jersey. I just had a very small question.
Sure.
I wanted to know, like, regarding the B2 letter, is there like a specific page limit for how long the letter needs to be?
Oh no,
Or
you
like,
can, you
more
can,
specific
no,
limit to it?
you can write a book. We don't care. There's no limit.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All the best.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. Bye. All right, folks. Great hanging out with you, and I'll see you again next Thursday. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.